And we're live. Welcome everybody to the Today in Millenia podcast, the most important show on the planet. I'm your host, Lefty Rubiero, and welcome. We're back. Yeah, I got one. Just got it. And we're back. The three amigos are here. Los Pollos Hermanos Tres. Whatever I was trying to say last time. Miss Beeny, how are you?
I'm great. I'm always a little bit extra surprised that we're starting because I feel like we're always just talking and bantering, and then all of a sudden it goes, and we're live.
Once he clicks play. So sometimes I forget what we talked about before or on the show.
Countdown or something, right?
Yeah,
like
3, 2, 1. And well, doesn't Rogan do that? He's like,
Rogan
3, 2,
does that.
1.
We can't do it.
What's up, freak bitches? Or whatever he does. Yeah, that's the same beginning every time. So Rogan does that, and of course, you heard him hailing all the way from Cihuatapeque, Honduras. That's it, right? Via Brentwood, New York, Alexio Hammerfist Rivera. Ooh, I put on the wrong letter.
It's the first time you did me before me.
I did me.
This is done.
Oh,
I started talking,
And then
then
she-
we
and
did
then
the
There you
thing.
go. I wasn't.
Alexio is fucking.
I wasn't in it.
Puffing
My
the
brain is
magic
full of
dragon.
insurance terminology.
He's puffing the magic dragon out here, if you know
bit,
what I
yeah.
mean. And you know what's so funny? I remember being a kid and watching the Puff the Magic
Yeah, I
Dragon
love that
video and
Yeah.
just being there like, can't wait to puff the magic dragon. And I was not scared.
As a kid, even
As a
I
child,
didn't make that
like
connection
whatever
to it.
grade,
So
I
was
like.
older.
I knew that was drugs, and I'm like, I'll try that.
I
It
never
was so
made that
funny. I was the
connection.
kid, that I remember the first time I smoked was different than the first time all my friends smoked because it was like Halloween, and these kids were just smoking. Like, no, you can't smoke. All my friends like, you can't smoke. I'm like, why not? I'm like, why not? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I had no fear of like, this is gonna ruin my life. I don't know where that they fucked up there. It was bad. They didn't do a good job in my school, I guess, or I just didn't pay attention. But I remember I was like, that magic dragon looked awesome, dude. And the kid's life gets ruined. Do you remember that story? Like,
I don't remember the story.
it's like a
Kids like this
cartoon.
really?
It's like a cartoon. It might not be a common one. Maybe just our school saw it. You know what I mean? After school
I saw it,
specials
yeah.
there were where they were like Puff the Magic Dragon. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. But this
Yeah.
one, the kid meets the Magic Dragon. The Magic Dragon is helpful to him at first and helps him get through certain problems. And then all he wants to do is see the Magic Dragon, obviously. And then he just ruins his life and his family
It's
doesn't
the
like
same
him.
thing, Puff the Magic Dragon.
No, that's a song.
But there's like a cartoon that goes with it. No.
Oh,
I might be thinking this.
no,
Are you
you maybe,
thinking
they
of the show?
use that beat to the Reading Rainbow. Is that what you're thinking? Because there's a dragon in the Reading
No
Rainbow.
idea now.
The Reading Rainbow, it's the same tune. It's the Reading Rain, and there's a dragon that comes through in a fucking rainbow, and it's like a cool cartoon beginning. You could be thinking that.
No, but my
I
memory's
don't know
just so
what I'm
bad.
thinking.
I probably made that whole fucking video up, who knows? But I do remember seeing all those videos and not being like, oh, this is so scary. I remember it
You
did,
know what you just
it
reminded
did not
me of?
matter to me.
You
What?
just reminded me of Charlie the Unicorn.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't
I
know.
wasn't a big fan of that one, but that was like around Salad Fingers and the original fucking YouTube,
Yeah.
the original clips. There's movie.
Yeah, I think I saw the movie.
Peter Pan. No, that's the song.
That's the song. I'm not talking about that. This.
Oh, there's an actual movie
Yeah, I saw it.
about a dragon named Puff. No. This was an after-school special. It wasn't called Puff the Magic
You guys
Dragon.
didn't see this?
This is what I remember,
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
but this is not drugs.
No, this was like an after-school special about a kid whose friend told him to puff this. He'll see the magic dragon, and he does. And the magic dragon is just a representation of the
And you
high
talking about this?
he receives. Is that it?
Puff the Magic Dragon.
No, I think that's just about a magic dragon named Puff. That's that. That's all the same thing.
This is the one I'm talking about. I saw this a million times, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember nothing about it.
That's not about drugs. I don't think that's the same thing. The
No.
magic dragon I saw looked like a Japanese dragon. It flew it. Like it had a long body. You know how like when you watch a Japanese tattoo, it's got that long,
Yeah.
almost like dead center body. That's what kind of dragon this was with it.
I think you were high.
I was not. I was in fucking elementary school. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's get started. In my opinion, yippee. Put the title up.
Put the title on. Bling.
Put the fucking title
Oh,
up.
wait. Before we get started, pause what you're doing. Please subscribe.
Oh yeah.
Preemptively like this video. I promise you it'll be good.
Like it. If I got an idea. Like it now. If you don't like it, just click it again at the end.
Boom.
Because you're not gonna remember at the end. So like it now. unlike it if you don't like it.
You know what else? Just share it now.
Or
And
just,
if you don't like
I think
it
if you
after,
click dislike, you can dislike it after. So
Oh.
like it now, dislike it if it sucks.
alright.
Because I don't even know, to be quite honest with you.
And now we can start.
Yeah,
Alright.
now we're going. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
I literally.
Why do I hate her?
She's the worst.
I guess we'll
Did
find
you
out.
know? Did you know there's a deep fake porn video with her face? on it?
Everybody wants to hate fuck.
They
AOC.
did. They did a pretty good job with it.
They
too.
do a good job on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But AOC, she's just a fucking maniac, dude.
Well, she won her election.
Oh no, really?
She
Yeah.
did great
She
marketing.
did actually.
Oh,
a
she's
really
the
good
best,
job.
dude. She's the best marketer in politics. The problem is that's not the job.
Yeah,
It's the only issue.
but
Policy
her,
is the job.
her and a bunch of other progressive Democrats like her have been winning across the country.
Who else? Let's see who the big names are. It's probably in here, right? Yeah, yeah, right there. I think that top one. We got
Bowman.
Bowman, Jamal Bowman.
But it's basically the people who are winning are progressive Democrats winning against older Democrats. So it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
it's all
taking
Congress stuff,
Republican- They're not taking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all Congress stuff. Because
yeah,
I think
they're-
every district will have a Republican and a Democratic Congress.
And so now what Pelosi and all these old fucks in Capitol Hill needs to start thinking is like, hey, we can't just ignore these people anymore. Like, our job is on the line. You know, it might be getting replaced by this more progressive wave, and they're all younger people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all younger people.
The problem is that I get scared, like, sometimes with the progressive left is because as good as their social outlook is, like, AOC's made comments on economy and the economic policy that just, they make no sense. Like, how high are we going to push this girl? Until she really makes real laws, like, about where our money goes. That's dangerous shit. Like, I love it. Like, she's all about helping everybody, and I like that. That's all nice stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't be that stupid and start making real economic policy. Like, people forget that this. I don't give a shit about our government's social fucking outlook. That's what I've come to realize. I don't give a fuck. As long as they keep money coming and they leave everybody alone. Small government. Oh, that was the last part of that. When people put that meme up, when you vote for all these things, you're just saying that you excuse racism. Like, if you're still gonna vote for Trump anyways. And it's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm voting for small government, whatever that comes with.
Yeah.
That's what I'm voting for. You can vote for whatever you want to vote for. Sorry, Mean, you were supposed
No,
to go
you're
first.
fine. It's completely okay. It's completely okay.
Good point,
I just kind of like I appreciate your passion.
Damn it!
Well, I like AOC. I love the fact that she.
No fucking kidding.
Whatever. Fuck you. I love the fact that she's doing phenomenal marketing. She was on with Hassan Minhaj, and I loved seeing that interaction.
There
What?
we go.
No, stop. I love him.
The big old echo chamber that is the Liberal Party.
And the Republican Party.
They're both the same,
And-
yeah, but
I
I don't
mean,
live in
whatever.
either. But I
Fuck
do
it.
know Maheen lives in the Liberal. This is it beating right
I do, and actually my corner.
This is the heartbeat of it.
My
So you can keep going. I'm
my
just gonna do
corner.
a
I'm
heartbeat.
just gonna go into it, but it's fine. I'm with it. I love it. So honestly, my cousins and I were watching TV, and we were watching NASCAR actually for a fucking hour.
Wow.
Because there
Wow,
was
they're gonna get a
no-
bunch of new fans.
Yeah, for 10 minutes.
Well,
10 minutes by
because it
lap
was the
6
day.
of the views.
It was the day. No, it was so boring. Oh my god.
Oh, it's the
Whatever.
worst.
It's fine. It was the day that Buddy. I don't even know his name. My cousin put it on.
Bubba.
Bubba Wallace, yeah.
Bubba
Wallace. It was that
So
day.
confusing because there's a Bubba Watson and there's
Yeah.
there's a bunch of Bubbas here.
There's a
I
lot of
want to get a
people.
Bubba Wallace jacket.
Do you?
There's
NASCAR
There's
jacket.
Bubba Sparks.
Bubba
There's
Sparks.
Bubba Sparks.
Probably the most important Bubba of all time.
Probably easily one of the most important. There's
Clearly.
also
Baba Ganoush.
no,
There's
that's Bob,
Baba
no,
Ganoush.
that's Baba Ganoush. That was what he used to call that guy. in
Close
pictures.
enough.
But anyway, Bubba Wallace, you were watching the
No.
race. Sorry.
So we were watching the race, and there was like literally every commercial break. It was an AOC commercial, and then we were like,
Really?
"We're on Long Island. Why is this being shown here?" But hey, it is what it is.
Probably just New York syndicated radio. If you were watching on SNY or something,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just don't.
You get that.
You don't know about the channels. You just new to this sports thing. But yeah, it depends. If you're watching like MSG, you'll get city shit.
Yeah.
So, but if you're watching like the Yes Network, you'll get like Bronx shit. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
probably get if you watch a Yankee game, and if it was going on, you would
Yeah.
probably get so much AOC,
Oh,
you wouldn't
sure.
even know what the fuck to
For
do with
sure.
it. And so that kind of makes sense. It was probably like New York syndicated news, I guess.
Yeah.
But so
anyway.
Beeny was watching NASCAR.
I was watching NASCAR, and
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you think
I
about
love-
that whole thing? Is it one of our topics?
It's not one of our, but we could get into
We
it.
fucked up. That was the only one I had. When I came in, I kept thinking, you were like, saying you want to talk
I
about?
don't think it's an
I'm like,
actual topic to talk about.
The
It's
thing
not a
is
real
that they're saying that it was there for like 3 months in the garage.
No,
No,
but
since
Since
October.
October, yeah, it's been there for months.
I don't know what 3 months is anymore.
Might as well
what I
been
mean?
3 months, yeah.
Honestly, what probably happened is I don't think the guy's lying. I think that the guy got overly offended at something. He seems like a much tougher guy than that. Like when I heard him talk, like I
Yeah.
think he's acting like a fucking vagine. But to be honest with you, they let him pull first. He's acting all traumatized. But he has to. He has to. Do you see how ripped you're getting if you're a popular black person and you don't run with every thing you can run with? Like it's bad enough. You ever seen, like, we were talking about the memes where it's like, hey, if you're my white friend and you don't do anything about it, you're just as bad as everybody else. It's even worse if you're like, if he's in a prominent position, he has to be outraged. He has to. He has no choice to be like, listen, I don't know where it came from. Let's find out first. If he did that, they would have crucified him. So I think he did what he had to do.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's definitely right.
But what I was gonna say, my whole opinion on it, my whole conspiracy is that I think someone may have tied it in that way as a joke, and whoever did is obviously a racist asshole, but I don't think it was done deliberately that day to make sure Bubba Wallace saw it. I think that accidentally it probably works to pull the door down, and the regular knot is probably very similar. If you ever use the garage door, a lot of
It
times
is
they
very
tie a
similar,
loop to it. The guy who did it just noosed it. He just, instead of just tying it, usually you just tie it once and you grab the hoop and you pull it down. I think that it was done months ago, and it was done probably maliciously, but the timing was not what people made it out to.
There's no way the person that did that noose would have known that he would have been in that garage
That many
in
months
the
down the
future.
road, yeah.
There's no way.
Especially with Corona.
The
They
person
didn't even
that
know when the
makes
race.
knots on the garages
Yeah.
is not the person making decision as to who's going
No.
in what garage.
But when
The kid who probably did it is probably an idiot. He probably undid the original knot and was like, I'm gonna tie me a noose on it.
Maybe-
See how,
maybe
like,
he
had
was
nothing to
racist.
do.
Maybe.
or maybe not.
Maybe
Maybe
not,
he just
yeah.
knew how to tie a noose and was like, I mean, I got nothing else to do. I'm gonna tie it like a noose. Look
Yeah.
how much stronger it is now,
Alright.
coach. Pull on that sucker. And
Another
then the
thing-
guy came in, and with all this happening, he
Listen.
was like, what do? I have to be outraged that this thing looks like
I
a
don't
noose.
think it should be. I think he thought somebody was doing it maliciously.
Right.
but
He had to jump to that conclusion though, almost. It's like the situation kind of guided him there.
I
Like,
think
the
it's
times.
too much of a coincidence to think that the only black driver in NASCAR wasn't put in that like that was a noose.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew it was a noose in there,
Yeah.
and they were like, let's put this fucker right here. Like
Yeah.
whoever made that decision is probably the guy that made
That's
it.
Yeah.
that's a conspiracy. That's
That
a
is
deep
a conspiracy,
one. That's
but
a deep one.
it's the only garage with the noose, and the only black driver got put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking.
And a lot of
stretch, too.
other drivers did say, I've never seen a garage thing tied.
Every single driver that got into, like, I've never seen a garage loop tied that
Yeah,
way.
it's fishy. And they were all kind of like, they were like, let's around jump to any conclusion, but that thing looked weird. I've never seen it. Like, that
Yeah.
was basically what all of them said, something along those lines. Like, they weren't all like, this is definitely somebody, but they all did say, I ain't never seen a garage, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I ain't never seen garage door tied like that. So somebody fucking tied it that way, and it's just weird that it was months ago.
But I do think a lot of good stuff came from it. You know,
Yeah.
like now they don't have the Confederate flags. Now they don't.
They lost a very important family.
I don't think
Pre-show.
they lost them though. The people who love NASCAR, listen.
My
the people
pops
who
was
love
big time,
NASCAR.
alright?
Oh,
He-
man.
They lost out
Oh,
big
man.
time.
Your pops watched one race.
Dude, they just lost all that branding and all that merchandise
I
sales.
think
They
I've
did
seen more
and-
NASCAR than your dad.
I would
Yeah.
assume so.
Yeah, 6 laps. Forget about
I
it.
would assume so.
I don't think they lost their fan base. The people who are gonna stop watching it are gonna stop watching it for like a day, and then they're gonna get right back to it. Because the people who are into NASCAR are fucking into NASCAR. Have you ever been to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sick.
they're-
I never been there, but I heard it's sick. Like, I know
It's
big time
fucking
NASCAR
crazy. I
fans.
was in Baton
Mostly the
for
most
a
racist
year.
people that I know are the biggest NASCAR fans I know. But, I mean, that could
But,
be a coinky
but they're
dink.
not gonna stop watching it.
No,
over and
no,
over and
no.
over.
Yeah.
They may, because they are crazy, like, you
Yeah,
know, the
I think
Confederate
it's
flag
gonna
thing
be a
could pull a
problem
couple
for a
people
while,
off.
but
But
not for a
if
long
you're
time.
mad, I just want to tell you, if you're mad that they think Confederate flags off of fucking trucks, you're a racist.
Yeah.
If you're mad that for-
Educated.
If you're
Uneducated, yeah.
if you're upset that Grant and Washington statue came down, you may be okay. If you're upset that Lee's statue came down, you're a racist. Like, it's a simple
Should we
method.
just transition into this?
I guess we got.
So yeah, we'll get into the statues. So obviously, taking away the Confederate flag out of sports is the same thing as all the old school Republicans are saying. They're trying to take history. Now, what I believe,
That's the main argument.
That's hiding behind. They're trying to take away all our power. You know, this white privilege thing. I used to always make jokes, but it's starting to pop its little head out more and more. And you can really see when I talk to like in their 40s, 50s, 60s white people, it's shaking them. Why are you messing up our status quo? Which is exactly the point. This is like, so it proves it. You know, it proves that it is all necessary because they keep saying it's not. You know,
Nick went from fuck those statues to like, oh, maybe because of history to fuck them statues again.
Honestly, I think if you tore down Grant's statue, you're a fucking idiot. And whoever tore down the 50, these are the arguments you'll get from the Republicans. The 54th Infantry, one of the top like Union all-black infantries that actually won like a major war or something. They have a statue. They tore that down. Well, you're just stupid as fuck. And I can be critical of everybody. The BLM's got some stupid motherfuckers on their side. I mean, as does every other major movement with a lot of people. A lot of people are dumb. What Rogan says. What's he say?
When you become like a mob.
A person is smart. People are dumb.
Yeah.
And if the Lee statue's already down and destroyed, and I'm in a frenzy, I've been in a frenzy.
Let's go to the next one.
That's it. You go to the next one, and any old white man who's going to argue that is lying. They were in a frenzy before. They know what the fuck it's like. They know you'll wreck anything. And I think that I've been saying since the beginning that I think violence only works if it's targeted, and I don't think they do a good job of targeting their violence. But it doesn't make it unnecessary. That's where I think the issue comes up. Is like, yeah, rip that fucking statue down. They don't keep Hitler statues. We were talking before the show. Hitler did way more for the German people than for fucking Lee, whatever the fuck his name is, ever did for the American people. And would have repented had he not killed himself the same way Lee did. Everybody's gonna say sorry once they fucking lose. That's how it works. So don't try to use that as a reason why he's different. And they ripped all the Hitler statues down. Probably a lot of fucking nationalist Germans that were like, don't fucking rip that down, motherfucker. And they made the decision to be a progressive enough country to rip it down. Guess what? When you open a history book, is Hitler still there?
I'm still learning.
Was he in yours?
Yeah.
He was in yours, right? He was in mine. If anybody at home wants to leave a comment, if Hitler's no longer in your history book, you may prove one of these idiots' point valid. But I think he's in everyone's history book. And I think General Lee will be in everyone's history books. But a statue is not history. A statue is remembrance and praise.
Yeah.
Which is way different.
It's
a symbol of praise.
So literally, like I saw a meme that was, picture this, right? Follow along in your minds, and it's literally a guy coming from the future, and he's like, stop ripping down all the statues, because if you from the future, you rip it down, you're gonna change the course. Nobody's gonna know about history in the future. And then he goes, I'm just kidding. You can still read about it, but everyone does think that the Earth is flat because YouTube tells them it is.
So that's so funny. Like that's perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah, that says it all right there. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that a ton of these statues were actually put up during the civil rights movement. Yeah. In the 50s and 60s. Yeah. So they weren't like
right after, fresh off. What do you think? Fresh off a loss, people just start hating the team? It doesn't work like that. They still love the team. They still think they should have won. So you can't base anything off that. I mean, I think that there is a huge issue with history just in general in this country on both sides. Like I was reading a little bit about. It's funny. You read about American slavery's Wikipedia. It's even though Wikipedia is weird. How I got the facts and the real dates where it started and stuff. Because when you look up on Wikipedia, it routes you to the American slave trade, and it's kind of a hate piece on America about the American, but it focuses strictly on the slave trade in America. I searched the triangle trade, just like by itself, and it just broke it down and gave me years. Do you know how bad the English, Portuguese, and Spain, like they're the fucking worst people ever. They owe motherfuckers. They owe us. They owe them at white America. They made us look bad. They taught us slavery. They made us fucking do it. They forced it on everybody. And now we're over here about to kill ourselves. Why do we have to be in civil war? Go fucking kill the Portuguese. They were running slaves. This is the truth. So go read about it. The Portuguese had been running slaves, and the Spanish and the English had ran slaves since the late 1400s. I mean, if anybody knows anything about history, America wasn't even a country till 1786. We, as America, only had slaves for 100 years or so. It was like 1776 to 1865. The cocksucker Portuguese ran them well into the early 1900s. So they started first, ended last. They are the worst human beings ever to live. America is probably the best human beings ever to live. And we're just in another crossroads where young people with smart brains, we will move past the black and white racism. We'll get past it because we're the greatest. And Portugal is going to be Portugal. In 40 years, we're going to be literally have ended racism, which is probably tough, but 50, 60, 70 years, we'll figure it out. We'll end it where nobody even knows what's going on. Like everybody's brown. And fucking Portugal, you'll still be fucking Portugal. And Spain, you'll still be fucking Spain. And England, you suck. Like you started a country that ended up fucking you up.
You are Ron Swanson.
Yeah, I do. I don't think we should repent for the issues that Europe has. Makes no sense to me. But no, a fun fact, not all jokes aside, in when it first started, I think I was telling you guys, we were called the North American British Territory, and so we were just a British territory, and since there was so much resources, you could grow tobacco and cotton, who's going to work on those fields? Black slaves. So they just sent them over. All we were was like a farm. Just like if you don't live at your farm. It's the same thing. If you have a farm that grows beets, and you don't live there, it doesn't mean that the people who work on the farm are the fucking slave driver. You're still the slave driver from where you are, you just don't live on the farm, so yeah, were there like early settler Americans technically that were running the slaves? Yeah, of course, because they were sent over from England. But it was just a hub for England to grow free tobacco and cotton. They really were enslaving whoever they sent as well, their own people. That they were like, you gotta go watch the black, whatever they're called. Go watch the Negroes, make sure they get it, whatever the English. Oh no, they always spoke, cheerio, go watch the Negroes, make sure they grow that cotton and send it on back, you governor fucking asshole. Like that's what they were doing. That's the truth. Nobody wants to look at it that way, but that is how it started.
For sure.
And they bought them off the Egyptians.
We still kept
Western
Africans. We still kept on going.
200 years.
Oh no, we could have done a better job.
Literally.
Definitely in that 100 years or whatever, 90 or so years, somebody could have maybe ended it sooner, but there's really no way to judge that because they were the first. America was the first to end it. So there's no way to judge what's quick. But I would say that is the judgment of what's quick. If you didn't end slavery in your country faster than 90 years, you're slow. America set the bar.
But the point is that how did they even get to that point? Is that, you said it yourself, right? Like the early settlers that were here, they were kind of doing this work too. They decided they didn't really want to do the work. They didn't want to
No. They sent them over with, so they would have white colonialists run the Negro slaves and oversee the work.
Right? But then
it wasn't that they were working at first and they called back to England and were like, hey, can you send some black? And they just did it all at once.
Right? Like they stepped away from even monitoring the work, and it's just like let the.
Oh yeah. It's like being born into anything, nature versus nurture. Yeah, and it's generations. I mean, we're talking the North American breed. I think you gotta look at the timeline a little bit more. It's like we were talking about the early 1500s.
Yeah.
Is when this whole thing started. So you're talking 3 generations of being born into this is how it works. Yeah. They send us black people, we make them work for free. Now you had the decision back then to be a 12 years a slave family or be the normal family that was nice to. I've ever seen Gone with the Wind. No. Which they're actually that was a weird one too that they're trying. They ixnayed Gone with the Wind. You can't buy it or do anything because it propped up the nanny character, which was like the black enslaved nanny. But the problem is the first ever black actress to win an Oscar won it for that movie. So removing it it's like a double. That is removing history to me. That is leaving the movie in and then maybe black.
That's why I want that.
Yeah, it's but taking away a movie that lady won an Oscar for, that's wrong. I think it just doesn't matter what the fucking thing's about. But yeah, you could have been 12 years a slave, but obviously there were people who were nice to their slaves. I mean, it was not right anywhere, but that's what it is. It's like people were figuring it out. 1776, America becomes a country. By 1865, they get rid of it, abolish slavery. And actually, they had abolitionists, which was a group of people who were here since before America was even America, late 1600s, when they were starting. An abolitionist was an anti-slaver. Even when the whole country was slavery pro-slavery, you were like an anti-slaver. And if you read anything about Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, not gonna go on a whole history lesson, but that guy was on a history lesson though. That guy was an abolitionist, came from an abolitionist family and married into a slavery farm family, like his wife, and they hated each other. So one guy's got slaves on his farm, the other guy's never had a slave in his life, and even when it was legal.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is that.
But that's what kind of people were there.
Because of everything that happened such a long time ago. It became ingrained into our society.
Right.
So even past abolition, it was still we still created our own slaves just with the law. right? And then that was with incarceration, and then we sectioned them off and
Segregation,
separated
Jim
segregation,
Crow. Well, that shit
all
was
that.
disgusting. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not saying none of it was excusable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that the British, Spanish, and Portugal should pay up for us.
Started
And
it up.
yeah, and we owe, but collect from them.
Yeah.
And because they owe us, so if you need any collection, just go to them. And no, what we did is disgusting. What people are still doing is disgusting. What my, I didn't want to bring it up on air, said on that day to myself, that's disgusting. All of it's disgusting, but like always, we will prevail, and we'll fix it first. Like always.
I hope so.
I know.
So,
Or I'll leave. I'm going to Mars.
Colombia.
I'm going to Mars. Oh, I'm just going to go on a bank robbery spree, I think. Death by cop. That sounds like the funnest thing to do. I watched Thelma and Louise today. Pretty fired up. Can we get to a new topic? I don't even know what we're talking about now.
I'm waiting for you.
I'm done. I'm talking about Thelma and Louise and going on a robbery spree.
Alright, so
if America gets
we
too
were
bad.
on elections before,
Yes.
and one of the big arguments against mail-in ballots on the Republican side, on Trump's side, really is Trump is the only one really touting this, is that there's a bunch of fraud with mail-in ballots, and the argument against that is that anytime there's fraud, it's always caught, like especially on a large scale. It's always been caught every single time, and there hasn't been that many cases of it or that much proof or evidence that it's an issue. And this is kind of like an example of what could happen if mail-in ballots are allowed on a large scale. In New Jersey, there was an election, and 4 people were charged with voting fraud. Right? They were caught with a bunch of mailing ballots. They were mailboxes, the big blue ones outside, stuffed with a bunch of mailing ballots, right? And so obviously that's suspicious. Why is there a ton of mailing ballots in this one mailbox?
Yeah.
Can you read well, you don't even have to read. What's the argument for why this is so hard to fraud?
Is that on a large scale, the people who are doing it are going to get caught, because usually to commit a crime it has to be a small group of people, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't commit a crime with 100 people, because it's 100 people who have to keep it secret,
Yeah.
right? So you're not going to be able to do it large scale with a lot of people. With a small group of people trying to handle that many mail-in ballots, they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I don't think like that. I haven't heard that as the fear. I guess that is a whole different, because they're really trying to commit, like where they're trying to change the sway of the election, like they're trying to sway it another way. What I've heard though a lot from the right is they think like that on Fox News they talk a lot about how you're gonna get 9 or 10 come to your house, and that people are going to fill it out for their kids and for everybody who's ever lived in there, and then send it in just to vote for Biden.
But
so
that's
like
my
small
point.
scale, they're talking about small scale fraud on a huge with a lot of people doing it. But
that's
it's not
my
about
point.
keeping a secret at that point. It's just everybody's doing the same thing. They don't know each other's doing it. It's just they're scared. But what we said in the
That's my
beginning
point.
that ends
There'd
it.
still be a whole section of
And you
population
have to have
area
one side
where
do
everybody
it
has
and the
to
other
do it.
side not. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it levels
exactly.
out anyways. Like if
Exactly.
all the Republican houses where it's a single person and they get their ballots in and they get 6 because they have a 6-kid family, and their son, that's what they're afraid of, is like their son, they're gonna get 6 blank ballots because they did have a 6-person family. If one of their sons is a 6-person family too, 3 of them are over 18, he's gonna get 3 as well. And so if this is this big giant left conspiracy family, they have the opportunity to throw in 15, 16 votes. But so does the Republican assholes who live next door.
Yeah.
So the rule is, if you want to stop the fraud, every ballot you get, vote the way you want to vote. Drop the ballots off 3, 4 at a time. As
That's
long as
my
it's
point,
not
because
600 in the mailbox, they're not
Yeah.
going to catch you anyways.
Just-
So if everybody just fills them all out, or we had a genius idea, just put it online.
Yeah, I mean, I like your one social, one vote, kind of like your plan. I'm just mad that brown men got caught. Like, do better.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more pissed at that. It's a bunch of brown guys. This guy's Alex Mendez.
Damn, our world
Michael
has changed.
Jackson.
This thing said, I didn't see one terrorist
One
word.
guy is Michael Jackson.
I didn't see one word about terrorism on this one either. You think
Yeah.
that they would
Yeah,
fucking...
it's really
Yeah,
Things are changing, see?
Two
People
Muslim-
think nothing changes. Nothing fucking changes, that does.
calling them terrorists.
That's it, that used to be in every article. If
I
you were
was
Muslim
mad,
and in an
man.
article, you were a terrorist.
I was really hoping that they would be white.
I was really hoping they were white too. But
Like,
it is what it is. They're smirking. They're okay with it.
Yeah, they thought it was funny. Who are they trying to vote for? Probably their homie.
This guy was running, Alex Mendez.
Yeah, so
And
they were trying to get their boy in there.
Yeah.
No, it's
He's
funny. So
definitely
that's
an
different,
election.
you know. He's trying to. That's like serious. Like he's trying to get himself voted. He's
Yeah.
part of the conspiracy and shit. I know the big fear with both, but it's funny because we were talking about the right is saying that the left's going to overfill out, and the left's saying the right's just going to overfill out. So they all think they're going to fraud each other. It's like,
Yeah.
how about just stop projecting because you're both pieces of shit. Everybody's just a piece of shit. Just admit that. If everybody just admitted that, we'd be a better place.
Yeah, and they would have to. They would have to. If the Democrats wanted to do this, right, they would have to get a population of people to
Yeah.
all agree to do this.
Yeah,
thing.
right. So the right's thinking is that they're all such awful people that
Everybody.
without consensus,
Yeah.
they will all come up with the same conclusion to cheat this election because they know they cannot beat Donald Trump. That's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which
and,
is
and the thing is, like,
a
if
conspiracy
you
at
think
best.
about the last election, there's a lot of people on the left that voted right,
Mhm.
right? That's the reason why Trump won, because they wanted something different,
Yeah.
right? So, how would they control these people? You can't.
There's no way. There's no way. I think that Trump's still gonna win. However they take the votes.
I don't
I'm
know,
thinking
man.
it less and less now.
I think that
don't know.
Biden
I
is
think
just
that-
such a fucking idiot.
Just keep him in the
Once
bunker
the debate-
until the election.
Well, yeah, keep
I
him
think
shut
the
the fuck
debates
up.
are
That's so
the
bad.
debates is what's
It's
gonna
be
shut him
over.
down.
Yeah, he's gonna be done.
He's gonna have to
The
go against
only
Trump.
reason he's doing well is because Trump is going through a shitstorm and he's hiding in a bunker, like you said. That's your wonderful,
Exactly.
beautiful, socially correct
if
representative
COVID
of the
didn't happen-
Democratic Party.
Fuck no.
He's hiding.
Fuck no, but that's.
I
this
seen
is-
Obama
That's
on the news
such
more
a
than I seen
sad
Biden.
thing. Oh
The
my
Democratic Party
God.
this
Obama-
election is
Obama
sad.
is on the news
Way more than Biden. This guy wants to
Yeah.
control the country. What are you, crazy? Anybody who would vote for Biden, you're a sick individual. You don't care
I don't
about
think
your
that's the
neighbors.
case either.
No, because they can say it about Trump. So I think if you vote for Trump, you're just playing it safe. If you vote for Biden, you're a sick individual. You
No.
don't care about your
This
neighbors.
is
You
not
don't care
the
about your
opinion of
future.
today, Millenia. You have a reflection of
I
his
do
own
not
idea.
consent.
This is my opinion. This is my opinion. You're a sick individual. You don't care about your mom or your dad or your grandma or anyone else in this country.
You know what? If
you
you
hate
don't
your
vote-
family. You
You
probably
beat your
hate
dog.
dogs.
If,
Yep, I was
if
just
you
getting
vote
to
for
that.
Trump, you don't care about my mom.
You definitely don't care about Maheen or her
Everybody
mom,
cares about Maheen's mom.
and you want everyone to die because you hate people. That's what I think if you vote for Joe Biden. So you know what? If that's okay on your conscience, if you're saying I can do without that, then that's all on you. I mean, if you can do without being the worst human being ever to live. vote
Let's
for
be
Biden.
honest, guys. We're all losing here.
Oh yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
That's what I think,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'd rather lose and then not lose tax money. That's my whole. That's my vote. That's where my vote goes. I know with Biden taxes are going up, and he's probably still a racist anyways. At least with Trump, I know they're going to stay low.
You know, I don't have another topic, but I did want to get your opinion on this. Me and Maheen had a friend who came out to us over the weekend, and
Came out with you.
came out to us. That
Well,
she
people
came
still
out.
come out of the closet in 2020.
I know,
Jesus.
exactly, right?
Like, it's 90s. That's so 90s.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a big deal. But came out to us, and I didn't know what to say. What do you say when someone comes out to
Can I
you?
just tell
Did
you
you
what
know?
Alexio said?
No,
Not even surprised.
but
at
it
all.
wasn't a surprise.
Wait, I mean,
but
was it a surprise? Or not?
it wasn't a surprise to me.
It wasn't surprising.
But because I don't think it's a big deal. But I still don't know
Did
what
you
to
have an
say.
inkling?
No,
You didn't even have an inkling.
I didn't even have an
No,
inkling.
but it's not like it makes a difference in this person's character at all. But
Yeah.
what's hilarious and what I have to state is that I read it and I read what this person said and then I read Alexio wrote "good job?" question mark.
I didn't know what to say.
Oh my god. Good job.
I was like,
And I'm
"Good job."
driving and I'm like I have to say something. Like
I said, "Congratulations?" Question mark. What do you say?
You should have known, like, so what?
Yeah, I guess
That's
that
what I
was
would
a
say.
good answer.
Guys, I want to let you know I'm gay. Okay. Does this affect anything we were going to do? We can still go out?
well,
Good, let's
for
go.
some
Good,
people
yeah.
it's like a weight
No, it
lifted
is.
off their
It's a
shoulders.
big-
Yeah, for them
It's
it's,
a
a
big
big deal. I
win,
can
yeah.
see why it's a big deal. Yeah.
Mhm. I think, like, you know, that's another example of just the country getting better. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
even when I was a kid, that was tough. Coming out, that's why I made that joke. Coming out was a thing. You know, it was tough. It was really tough.
That's where you live.
Yeah, it still does.
Yeah,
But even
today.
nowadays, you know, I see a lot of TLC does it and stuff like. But a lot of Catholic, you'll see sometimes real hard Catholic people. They're just like, all right, I love you, you're my son, anyways, you know, and they're kind of like learning to get through it. Whereas
Yeah.
20 years ago it wasn't even close, and 30 years from now it'll be even better because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people that really have the issue, they'll die. Like we always talk about it. Well, I always talk about it here on Today. People do die.
Yes, they do.
They die, and their ideas can die with them too. So I just think as long as I talk to young people and they seem fun. My sisters, my brother, us, anybody you guys work with here, anybody I work with, they seem okay. And I think that that's a better representation of where we're going than body control.
I just want to know, if you're listening, what do you say when your friend comes out to you? What have you said? What would you like to hear if you are somebody that has come out?
It depends on the scenario. If they made a huge deal, like as if somebody died, I would give them, my reaction would probably be like a little annoyed. Like, that's it?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude, I thought you were like cancer or something.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the matter with you? If they just mentioned it, quickly, I would just try to copy whatever they did. I think that's my best advice if you're dealing with somebody coming out of the closet. If they make it not a big deal, you should make it not a big deal. If they make it a big deal, you should make a joke about how big a deal they made it. Like, it's not that big a deal, dude. And, but if they're like, yo, just want to let you know I'm gay, I'm like, okay, or get in the car. We're late.
Get in the car.
You know, just try to move on. That's what I think is what I would want if I was, and then if I sat down and make a big deal, I think that you should make a joke, but then tell them.
Or you go, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. And then you should be nice though and support them and whatever, because they made a big deal out of it, so you should too. Yeah.
With some people, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm waiting for you to just say it,
For sure,
right?
yeah.
But I mean, although I didn't expect it, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just
You know what?
like,
We
Nothing
all have a
changes.
mutual friend. I used to feel I felt so bad for her and the person, but she was ostracized by her cousins because she asked one of them, who was very clearly gay, if he were gay, and he was so embarrassed that it might even spread that she assumed it, that he went right to the parents, and they were younger. And it's a mutual friend. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
maybe.
I'll tell you, after. But and went right to the parents, and it became a big deal. And how could this person even question that? And then wouldn't talk to her forever after that. And I've seen him clearly. Clearly, he's gay, and the family just is not open to it at all, and so that he's not going to say anything about it, and still has no relationship with this person just because of one question. That's where it gets so tough, because now you know this person is probably just living in awful. It can't be fun to hide.
Cannot be fun, yeah.
Can't be fun to hide that kind of secret.
What's crazy is, and this is just so random, because I don't know why I just thought of this. It could be because of who I think you're talking about, but so in the past, just my dad's cousin. My dad's super manly man. My dad and your dad probably get along really well if they don't look at each other. You know what I mean? But my dad's cousin was murdered because he's a gay fashion designer. And he came out and immediately was just all right, we're gonna kill you now.
Where?
Back in Pakistan.
Back in Pakistan.
Yeah.
The family killed him.
I don't know who killed him.
He just
We don't
disappeared.
know. He's gone.
Came out of the closet and disappeared. Yeah. Again, so America, we're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
We could be better, and I get why people are upset, but way ahead of the curve. But that's crazy. It's crazy that it's still like that in certain places. But I think that, my opinion is just who cares? It's 2020. You're cooler if you're gay than if you're not.
Yeah.
Today in Florida.
Sure. Surely.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Where do y'all wear masks, bro?
Hold on. Take it easy.
Jesus,
YouTube.
that's loud.
Really jumping into it here. So this guy's trying to get into a Walmart with no mask on. And not only is he making a big deal of it, because it's a minor inconvenience to put on a mask,
Yeah.
but he's fighting this guy to get into the Walmart, and the Walmart employee is fighting it back. And it just escalates to where it shouldn't. It just seems so childish.
Alright, so here we go.
Where do y'all wear masks, bro?
Oh my goodness.
The guy pushes the Walmart employee and falls, and he falls and
Everybody got on masks, man. Everybody got on masks, man.
Just let her run.
Yeah, so
Let her run.
let her run.
How long is it?
Nah, dude, that's
Big
basically
five
it.
It's a minute. Just let her run. Oh, it's
that's,
over?
That's basically it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the guy.
okay.
The guy's fighting. But
All we care about is what the crazy Florida person did. They were going to go on a whole rant about how
About
masks
COVID.
were important. Okay, yeah. Okay.
in Florida, they have a gigantic spike in cases. But this is the first time where most of the cases are young people, so there's not that many people going into the hospital and getting extremely ill and dying. The death rate is the lowest it's ever been when it comes to
We
COVID.
never got over like 1%.
But in Florida, they're really fighting against these masks. The
Dude.
people are.
It's a Republican state, Florida, and you would assume it wasn't, but those people are fucking nuts, dude. So if you're listening at home, this guy basically pushes the employee and falls down, So the employee doesn't fall down. He pushes the employee, then he falls
He
down.
falls down.
So he falls flat on his face as he's yelling, screaming, and then what's worse is that the employee who is really advocating these masks is right up in his dome with no mask.
Really trying to push him out of the store.
Yeah, but like face to face,
Yeah.
pulled down his own mask, or it got pulled down in the
Like,
scuffle.
bro, you're making.
So now you're
nothing an hour.
mask to mask,
Yeah.
no
Relax.
mask, face to face now. Like, but you're arguing over how important the mask is. It's just this whole COVID thing, and then mixed with what happened with with the killing, George Floyd. It's just now it's just everybody seems insane in this
And
country.
heightened, for
This,
sure.
this country we just seem insane. Like
Yeah,
every
across the
rule
world.
seems like a contradiction now. Anybody can make a joke about it. What Cuomo straight up, they had a graphic up that said protests of 100 or more, but gatherings of 312 or less. They're those two things.
Strange. Yeah, we.
Those two things are not. They're not different. You can't make that. That's not real. You're supposed to be intelligent. We voted for you to be governor. Come on, man. You can't say that out loud.
There's a bunch of examples of public health officials that's supposed to just be about science and nothing else, muddying the waters when it comes to these figures, right?
Yeah.
Like De Blasio told contact tracers not to ask new COVID patients if they were at protests.
Just to keep
Just to keep the
everything.
numbers down.
Just so that
Just so that way
the
they don't
protest
connect
doesn't look like the reason, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to back whatever
Which-
his constituency is going to
Which,
do.
if
and
there
it's
was
the
a bunch of
two-party
people
politics.
who got sick in Michigan over the protest that happened there.
We should know why.
Over the first protest, not the Black Lives Matter protest, but the ones that were like, oh, we want to open up and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
protest.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people who got sick off of that. Why would these protests be different?
Right.
Right? And so people who are going to go to these protests should know that, hey,
Yes.
I'm most likely going to get this.
But they
I should
know
be
that
protected.
that bad press is going to be
I
bad
think
for the movement.
These protests should still happen. But
But
people
the
should
truth
know.
should be out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
should know that they have a higher likelihood of getting this.
Getting
show
it, so
up.
stay away from your old folks and stay away from your parents.
Right.
You're
Can't just
gonna
make it
get
seem
this.
like it's all good. You know, I see more warnings about bringing out masks and fucking water to pour in your eyes if you get pepper sprayed at these riots than I have
Then about COVID.
COVID. Yeah, like so. I think that COVID's a weird situation where it's like not who even knows how bad it is or how not bad it is if they just open it up. But I think what the fuck's going on? Why can't you go to the mall? What the fuck? They just backed the mall out of phase 4 now, so like malls and gyms are done. Gym people are tight. Like it's never gonna happen. Basically, they like backed
I
it
think
up.
gyms are gonna go out of
De
business.
Blasio's saying something about not until a fucking vaccine is done to gyms
Well.
and malls.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that too. I don't have the article,
What?
but they started trials already.
Yeah, they started trials for vaccines.
Hopefully
Guess
they
where?
get through quick. Where?
Guess where they're starting them?
Cuba.
Africa.
They 7,000 people got it already.
Got the thing and they're
Yeah.
using it.
They're using
Fuck
it. They said they're getting great results for that. You know, by the time it gets here, there're going to be thousands upon thousands of people, tens of thousands of people who have it. So it'll be safe by the time it gets to
I have
us.
a headache
I just
thinking
think
about
it's
this.
fucked up that
It's Africa.
you're starting with third world countries. Maybe you should wait a little while, you know?
Who the fuck cares? I'm going to Mars.
It's a fucking weird thing.
I'm going on my
Because-
robbery spree. I'm meeting Elon out in California. I ask him, with all the money I end up with to send me to Mars. That's the plan.
There's so many.
I'm gonna get 35 banks from here to California, show up at Elon Musk's house, give him every dollar I just got to send me to Mars. Whether I live or die, I'll take my chance.
There's so many human issues that we usually tend to ignore. There's so many, like where our clothes are made and where our phones are made, and
You have to.
the shit that gets the shit to make your phones gets mined by slaves.
Yeah, but Lebanon, they don't give a fuck out there. They'll still
Basically,
enslave
slaves.
anybody.
They're getting paid, but they're basically
Slave wages, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Just to stay alive, so they don't die, so you can work the next
Yeah.
day. And it's like, people need to get the fuck over that because there is one thing that everybody cares about. So anybody who says they're all worried about that, it's not the truth. Everybody's all worried about their fucking money. That's what it is. If
What's
it
in
wasn't,
front of it, yeah.
if it wasn't for pricing, like, what do you think? They can't make the iPhone for without using slavery? Of course they can, but you wouldn't be able to afford it, and you wouldn't want to buy it, and then they would have no business, and then they can't eat, and then they starve, and then they die. As rich as Tim Cook is,
It's
you
just
take the whole business
progression
away,
of science and
everyone
technology
dies.
slows
Yeah,
down a lot.
it's just everything slows down, and a lot of things are going to be ran by the market. So I think the only way to fix issues like that again is we're looking in the wrong areas. Those countries have to get rid of slavery. They have to take on the costs. We can't take on the costs. We got to keep having them make our shit. They need to get better. And you know, like, so when people look at like world issues, it's so hard to solve from America. Which again, that's why we like Tulsi. Isolation
Yeah.
over here for at least the next 8 years. We gotta just take care of our own people. We're fucked up over here.
Yeah, it's fucked.
No more fucking wars in deserts.
Oh my gosh. So I have a headache.
Yeah, I have a headache too. It's so much shit. So what do we got
So
here?
we got
Bean's
Bean's
Corner.
Corner.
All right, wonderful.
All right. So inspiration from a new Instagram page that I started following called Angry Asian Feminist. Ha ha ha. All right. So
This is gonna be good.
no, it's not. You're not gonna be mad if you're a good person, Nick. If you're
I'm
a good
not.
person,
Do you
who
know
gives
what
a
my
shit,
movement's called?
I don't want to listen to you anymore.
No Lives Matter. It's called No Lives Matter. If you didn't find that. Hashtag none of them.
Mars lives matter.
Nobody's life matters.
Anyway, so if you want to just be a good fucking person and try to make the most minimal effort to making a difference,
Follow this Instagram account.
follow the Instagram account. But no, the Instagram account just put everything into one place for me to just be able to have links to petitions, links to places where you can donate. And if you want to be on the right side of history, here you go, guys. And maybe Nick can just paste in the links so they'll just.
I'll put them in.
my
I'll
handle.
put them. I'll put them in the description of the YouTube.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll put like yeah. I won't put all these like different pictures up. I'll just
So
put the
there's
links.
again, if you have not signed this yet, although there's already been
19 million
many
or 18
changes,
million?
18 million, and the goal of signatures has just kept getting bigger and bigger because we just keep hitting the goal, which is phenomenal. So that's
What's that? The petition to get him.
to get
pension
justice for
removal?
George, and they keep adding to it too.
What does that mean, justice for George?
So at first it was to fire and arrest, and the cops that
Right. And
did what they did, and so it's making changes. So this has had updates, and I think now it is just about his pension and things like that.
Yeah, right. Well, all I'm saying is maybe we should have people sign that one already has completed its goal. Maybe there's some other ones.
Here's
that
the
can
bunch of
sign.
things, and here's the best part, guys. Your signature can go on more than one thing.
You can sign them all.
Crazy. Yeah, you can sign them all.
Oh, nice.
Justice for Breonna Taylor. She's still the cops that have shot and killed her have still not been.
This was
arrested.
fucked up, and what's
One
funny
of
is
them was
Just
fired.
not-
Trump got rid of
Fired.
the old Trumpy boy was the one to pull the trigger on the no knock policy. So because of this case, he put an executive order through. You can't do that shit anymore. You can't just kick in people's door waving the fofo. This isn't fucking.
Well, it officially passed as a law in her state, which I think was Minneapolis, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, it officially passes a law. An executive order would bring it to the forefront, but it won't pass as a law in each state.
Okay, so they had to pass it. So
They
whatever,
had to
he
pass
brought
it.
it up as an executive order, but and then they passed it through. So in her state, but now they have to vote
No
on
more
it, I
no
guess, in
knock.
every state.
No knock warrants.
Yeah, but the point is no more no knock, which is crazy that they could even ever do that. Like, so if you don't know about Rihanna,
Especially
they
in
just
states
came
where
in
people
and
have
shot
guns.
people.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you
I
expect?
mean, you should
Yeah.
be able to shoot the cops, like if they're gonna no knock. It doesn't make any sense.
If
If you don't
anyone
know who's
enters
on the
your
other
house.
side, you think there's a home invasion going on.
Yeah.
Right?
I knew a kid
And
back.
they were
They were undercover cops
There we
too.
go.
Yeah, no, playing clothes.
I'm glad that we can play charades.
Yeah, undercover playing clothes. So then we have Elijah McClain.
Yes.
What's that?
This one's a sad one,
this
man.
breaks my heart. Literally breaks
23-year-old
my heart.
Elijah McClain was walking home after buying some tea at a local convenience store. According to Elijah's family, Elijah, who was
Louder.
anemic, Elijah, who was anemic, preferred to wear a ski mask to keep her face warm while he was walking. The Aurora Police Department received a call of a suspicious man. This call resulted in Elijah's death. After the McClain family requested the body cam footage from the officers on scene, it was reported that in the footage he's laying on the ground vomiting. He's begging you to say, "I can't breathe." One of the officers says, "Don't move again. If you move again, I'm calling the dog to bite you." Oh, Jesus. When the paramedics arrived, they administered a dose of ketamine to the already unconscious Elijah to sedate him. Oh, my goodness. He was pronounced dead August 27th at only 23.
So after
That's
that,
horrible.
After that, he was brain dead, and then after being unconscious for a while, he passed away.
He suffered 2 heart attacks.
He seemed like such
in
a
the
sweet kid
ambulance.
too in the videos that they put up about him.
Yeah, he used to go to the cat place and play violins for the little cats.
I think they killed like the worst
Yeah,
person to
They're just
kill.
so, cops are just like, there's no reason to even,
I'm tearing.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Like-
It's sad.
I'm emotional, guys.
who is that mean to people? Like, just right off the rip.
And then this is more stuff that people don't know about, but that's happening in the world. This is something that I've been kind of posting on my own personal social media. People don't even know what's happening in Yemen.
Yemen is a failed state.
Yeah,
It's so
we can't
sad.
help them.
Literally
We can
famine.
help.
You can sign it if you want,
Starvation.
Sign it.
but we ain't gonna help.
Jesus
There's
fuck.
no help in Yemen.
I'm
They're one of
fucking
those slavery
tearing. The world
regions.
is going to shit. Maybe I'm gonna go to Mars too.
No, I mean it's so sad. It's so bad.
This is not the best way to end. I'm sorry. But please, like, we need to be aware about what's happening in the world. Just because it doesn't affect you immediately, it's human lives, man. Like, people are living in shit. Look at this skinny little baby. Oh, look at his arm. I can't look at him.
I can't.
Why don't these countries?
Then she has a bunch of other petitions here.
Well, Yemen, we can. You can donate. We're gonna take over Yemen, militia style. So yeah, we can help.
Today in Millenia.
Yeah, we're gonna create a militia, and we're just gonna show up. It's gonna be our own
Slap a
country.
sticker on
And it's gonna
everybody.
be
That's
our
it.
country, and then we'll fix
It'll
it.
be our country. We'll fix it.
Perfect. Demanding ICE to stop using dangerous chemicals. We've all seen the posts. You know, if there were dogs locked up in cages that who haven't been bathed since forever, who aren't being fed, who are taken away from their families, then people would be up in arms. But this is happening to fucking people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Please sign the petition.
So yeah, that's just a bunch of awful shit going on in our world that you can sign petitions for, and hopefully they get fixed.
And if you go to the page, you can
Just
also
brings
find.
attention to
Yeah,
it.
and you can also fix it, by just bringing it to, by just knowing about it, reading about it. I just learned about 2 of these that I didn't know about.
There's another one you don't know about. This woman, she's a medic. Her name is Alamastri. She is a medic at a protest. She went to go help and was like pulled off by cops. They ripped off her hijab. They took pictures of her, and they forced her to do her mugshot without her hijab. And now, I mean, it's posted all over the internet. So now, if you Google this wonderful person, the first thing that comes up is her
There's a picture
mugshot,
without her.
and it's
without.
fucked up.
Yeah.
This woman was just trying to help.
Yeah, that's fucked up. And I think the fact that they're still being violent at these protests is just amazing to me. Like, how do they not know it's gonna look bad?
Stop
Yeah.
hitting people.
People
for no
will
reason,
record you.
Like we were talking about, I think last week, just the threshold for why people should die has, like, the cops just, they're so pussy. Like, if that's the threshold, cool, dude. I'm about to start smoking people, because there's a lot of people I think do a lot worse that I don't like. And they're not doing anything illegal, I just don't like them. So, I should be able to smoke that person. There's really bad people who don't do illegal shit. That's what I fucking realize. Bad fucking people who don't do illegal shit. You don't have, the law has nothing to do with good and bad. I don't know who told
Say
you
no
that,
to me too
or
hard.
what? What?
Say no to me too hard.
Yeah, no.
Out the door.
And yeah, you're dead. No, but there's like some bad people that are just not good, you know, like they, and then there's people who break the law, it doesn't make them bad, you know, like the fact that these cops show up with this disposition that this person has been at least accused of breaking the law, therefore I am better than them, and I'm going to talk down to them from the get-go, I'm going to act better than them, and I'm going to treat them guilty until they're proven innocent in some court if they make it there before I blow their brains out.
Exactly.
That is just the worst mindset. Like, why are you showing up to a situation like that? Like, once again, I'll say it again, I would not show up to a situation with a gun unless I thought I could get killed or I plan on killing somebody.
Especially if they call the cops like, oh, this person's selling water bottles.
Yeah, are they armed?
License.
No, unarmed. You
Oh.
shouldn't even bring your gun unless you're a gigantic vigilante. You should, with 2 people, you should be able to handle the 1 water bottle guy with no gun. No gun.
For sure.
Why do you need a gun?
We should end on the positive.
What?
Oh, the guy?
Yeah,
The hombre?
the hombre.
What's the hombre?
We have some good news. What is our segment called?
What is it called again?
Oh,
What's good today?
We suck.
So everybody's copying Krasinski anyway, so it's not even just us.
Cool,
There
he
you
sold
go.
his ideas.
Yeah, everybody stole it.
I like our
Everybody stole
name
it, too.
anyway.
Ours is
Yeah.
good. Almost 40,000 raised by strangers for 70-year-old Popsicle Street vendor Don Rosario to retire.
This is sweet because I don't know why it doesn't have the video, but this old guy is selling popsicles out of a little
Your
push
car,
cart.
yeah.
And,
They bought him up, right? They bought him
yeah,
out.
the family, they were like, it was on Father's Day, and they just bought all his popsicles so he could go home, and the guy's crying, he said, thank you, and go home, I sold all my shit, and then they started a GoFundMe, and they gave him 40 grand.
Worked towards his retirement.
That's a good note to end
That's
on.
No.
That guy looks like
Look
the
at this
man
guy.
there, just
He's so
slinging,
cute.
slinging poppies, bro. Just slinging popsicles. There's a flower guy that comes around to patch on him. He's been doing it for years. He has some sort of physical disability, but he sells flowers. Very similar to this guy. Maybe somebody starts to go fund me for him. You know who won't? This guy. Hashtag no lives matter. It's a cute story, but they still don't matter.
Oh
Look, and
man.
you can see I liked it. I
He liked it. She was, and we were not on her thing. That's so funny. All right, so I think that's about it. We'll see you next week. More shit will happen, and we'll be here to talk about it. Hopefully, Maheen had more speaking time, so everybody can let us know this week. We did well on
I
that.
think we did much better.
All right.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, I stopped before the.